Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netters Network Thursday Things. Tonight I have a very special guest, and we're going to be talking Twin Peaks. So for all you Twin Peaks fans, you're going to want to stay tuned. Make sure, if you haven't already, you give us a thumbs up for the stream, and if you wouldn't mind sharing it out, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for that. Before, of course, we get started, let me introduce my co-host for the evening. Well, you know him, that guy at the end of the bar. He doesn't have a drink in his hand tonight, that's tomorrow night. But he's the love of my life, Troy Vicelli. How are you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on that's non-alcoholic?
Yeah, it may be non-alcoholic, but I'm still sipping on something. I got myself a Cherry Coke Zero. And yeah, tomorrow I will definitely be imbibing because we will be celebrating, but we are not talking about that now. We are not talking about Judy either. We are going to be talking about our guest.
Yes. I am drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper. Just at the rare times I actually drink a soda. I just felt like having one today.
Yeah, it's high octane day when she's having a soda.
Yeah, it's like I had mentioned to you guys some time ago about, in fact, it was last month, about a class I had to take for my company. Well, I have to take the test for this thing, and I have to take it by next Friday. I have no clue what the heck I'm doing on this thing because I don't understand any of the material.
What, did you tell your boss?
Yeah, I told her, I said, yeah, I'm going to take the test, and I plan to fail spectacularly. And she started cracking up.
I mean, everything you do, you should do with, 100% effort, even if it means failure.
Yes. So, yeah, that was making her laugh. And she's like, it doesn't matter if you pass or fail. It's just getting the experience of taking it, what the end user goes through. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But the thing is, we had a conflict because the email that we had gotten saying when we need to take it by, so we didn't have to take it until like August 11th. And I'm like, great, gives me more time to look at the study materials and all that, because it's open book. But it's like, unless you wrote down literally everything the trainer was saying, yeah, you're not gonna get this stuff. So I wanted more time to look at the study materials. Yeah, and then we found out, oh no, that's wrong. We actually have to take it by technically next Saturday. It's like, yay. So yeah, I'm having a soda today because, well, I'm not gonna drink alcohol. And before we bring our guest in tonight, let us say hello to the chat. First up was JPRPH1. He was here at 8 o'clock.
Hey there,
How
John.
you doing, sweetie? There's that last call guy. Yeah, he keeps lurking in my stream.
Yeah, a lurker, all right.
And I keep seeing that he's telling me he loves me. It's like, we better keep an eye on that guy. We have Big Al Presents, saying have a great stream. Hope everyone has a great week. Deleted Scenes giving his salute and reminding everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, sweetie. Lady Myst, the beautiful Lady Myst, my beautiful blue wrench. She is giving me her hearts and flowers. Let's see. I thought I saw somebody else here. Scrolling. Connie Cleary, the bird lady of YouTube. How you doing, sweetie? And I thought I saw another one. Could be wrong. People saying hi to each other. There's Agent Boomer. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And I know people are going to be going over to your stream on Sunday to hear the latest in geek news. We have Tim.
Tim.
Just Tim. Usually everyone goes, Tim? That's like, no, it's Tim. So how you doing, sweetie? Said hi to Boomer. Oh, Curtis Selvey. He said, just finished my own stream, about to walk the dog, but I'll have it running for the views and watch when I get back in. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that.
Does that mean you're getting time with your pupper or you're playing with a yo-yo?
He's playing with his dog. His Doge.
He's Doge.
We have Star Day Trivia. How you doing, sweetie?
Hey, Stardate.
Maximum
effort. Yep.
Alrighty. I think that gets me
catches us
caught up. Of course, now I have to go to the actual chat and say hello my normal way there, because I always drop my hi sweeties in the chat. And let me get rid of that. So our guest tonight, he's been on it before, a couple times actually, And tonight, we're going to be talking about his fundraiser for Twin Peaks Films. It's an exciting project. I have the link to the Indiegogo pinned to the top of the chat, so you can check it out. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more in depth. And without further ado, let me bring him in. How you doing, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
Oh, just some mocha.
Hey, that's awesome too.
Yeah,
of course.
I gotta keep awake.
I fully understand
to
that.
get that recharge for the second half of the day, which is the night.
I was just gonna say, been a pretty full day for you so far.
Yes, and it doesn't stop.
I can imagine.
When the sun goes down, that's when the next shift seems to kick in. So I want to make sure that I'm alert for that as well.
Oh, that's fair. So I figure we should probably, I mean, just to get everyone caught up, because I can't be certain that everyone that's here was here the last time you were on. You were on with us, I want to say a couple months ago.
yeah.
Right.
In fact,
We introduced you to everybody. We told everybody, and I'm sure they have, because they like a lot of the same things we do. Told them to subscribe to your channel, check out your previous independent film. What was the name of that again?
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. Yeah, not everyone actually has checked it out yet, because they're catching up on the original Twin Peaks episodes. We just finished season 2. Was it 2 weeks ago? We're doing a little extraneous stuff. We just covered Diane, the Twin Peaks tapes of Agent Cooper, on Tuesday. Next week, we will be watching the extended version of Fire Walk with Me with the missing pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly thereafter, we will be diving into The Return, which a lot of people haven't seen yet. I don't want to put out any spoilers yet, and so that's why they've been holding off on.
It's been a couple months. Last time he was on was March 21st.
March 21st. There you go.
Now, have you guys seen it?
No, actually we haven't, because I figured I would wait. Since Deleted Scenes, the host of the show, hasn't seen season 3 yet.
Right.
I figured I'd wait and we'd all watch it together. In fact, maybe when we get to that point, would you be interested in joining us as the creator of the film?
I would be interested in joining you after you've watched it.
We've watched
because
it.
Then if you have any questions about anything, we can get into that. But I don't want to be a distraction while you watch it.
Fair enough. Okay, that's a brilliant idea. So that'll be the plan.
Well, considering we talked through the whole thing anyway, doing commentaries.
Well, we do a little bit of commentary, but it'll be.
I'm planning on doing a writer's commentary for the film probably in a few weeks. I have to wait until the family is out of the house, because it's going to take me like 6 hours to do it, because one, the film is nearly 4 hours, and 2, I'm going to hit pause and want to talk about some stuff. So
that makes sense.
I do not want my little son coming in here making faces while I'm in the middle of a commentary. So now I did a filmmaker's commentary where myself and the producer and lead actress, we talked our way through it, but that was more of like how we made the film. Sure. Now I want to do it like, why did I write the film in this way, and why did I, there's
that's
and really kind of get into the characters and all that.
Have you so I guess I'm going to use this question as a way of pivoting, but with the projects you've got coming up that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, is it the same production crew, same cast, and so forth?
I'm hoping it's the same cast. I mean, as I've said elsewhere, Queen of Hearts was supposed to be like a one and done thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always constructed to be that. And so it wasn't like I, locked the actors into a contract of, 5 films or something like that.
Right.
So we all went on our merry way. And I just started coming up with a few ideas while I was in editing, like, for instance, because every creator should have this, especially in this day and age. If somebody did come up to you and say, is there another story you want to tell, or is this, is there something you'd like to explore that you didn't with this? So I wanted to just kind of have perhaps a few ideas in my back pocket, not necessarily a full-fledged story, but just, some little nuggets of things. And then when I started talking with Josh, who is the second half of this crowdfunding campaign, um, I started telling him some of the ideas I had, and he said, "Oh, that sounds really good. Why don't you explore that a little bit more?" And so I started to, and then a story arose, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden everything fell into place. And I said, "Wow, this would be amazing. It'll never get made, but this would be amazing." And then lo and behold, I started talking with some of the actors who were in Queen of Hearts, and they're just like, "If you want to do that, we're into that." So
Yeah.
everything started kind of coming together. And then Josh said, "Hey, I've always wanted to do a film that explored Teresa Banks." He was really good friends with Pamela Gidley, and he thought it would be really great for him to do sort of a Fire Walk with Me film exclusively about Teresa Banks, right?
Sure.
And then we started talking again, and we started realizing that there might be locations that we could both utilize. There might be characters that we would both utilize. And so we thought, wouldn't it be really awesome to do the crowdfunding together? One, because if you did it two separate crowdfundings, you're kind of pitting one against the other in some
Yeah.
ways. And two, it was just like, we're friends. We both love this material. And I was going to work on his film and he was going to work on mine. So why not just do it together? And we also
That's
thought that
awesome.
would be the easiest way to kind of raise the money, to be honest, because a 2-for-1 deal, that's great. And considering his reputation and considering, what I've brought to the table, publicly, at least for the last 10 years or so, um, it's, I just thought it would be incredible. However, I'm
Uh-huh.
really happy we're doing the show tonight,
Uh-huh.
because checking out the campaign today, it seems that because there has been a lack of donations in the last week, Indiegogo, the crowdfunding site, doesn't think the campaign is going to be successful. So they've pretty much, have the algorithm declare the campaign dead. Now, that
Right.
doesn't mean that people can't donate it to it. And it doesn't mean that if all of a sudden people donate to it, wouldn't kick it back into gear, and then, Indiegogo would be like, "Oh, something's happening here." But right now, they're just considering it, well, it's nothing's happening. So we're not gonna, because Indiegogo, like Kickstarter, they want their cut of the money.
Yeah.
And if there's no money coming in, they're not gonna promote it because they don't think it's gonna happen, right? They're gonna promote things that they're gonna get money for. Like when I did Queen of Hearts, once we hit 20,000 to make it, um, they realized, ooh, we're gonna get some of this money. So all of a sudden, we were on the front page every day until we hit our goal. And that's what would have happened here as well, but just for whatever reason, and I believe there's a host of reasons at the moment. I think just while Twin Peaks is at a fever pitch when it comes to Twitter X and Facebook and
Hmm.
Instagram, um, it's also still so niche. You know,
Right.
when I was doing Queen of Hearts, the reason why I feel like that was successful was because we were coming right off season 3, and people were at an, that was, I mean, that was at a point when I was doing just a random Twin Peaks live show, no guest, no topic, nothing. We had 500 people in the chat.
Right.
So, so times are a little different now. But I just thought, two films, Teresa Banks, my story, which is going to go past Queen of Hearts, which means it's going to go past season 3.
Right.
I thought people would be, one, I thought they'd be supportive because so many people really loved Queen of Hearts, and two, I thought that they would be like, yeah, let's see Cameron dig himself out of this one. Go make something that goes past season 3.
Right.
Little do they know the story that I've come up with is going to blow their minds.
Yeah.
Um, You
I
know,
suspect it absolutely will.
and to be honest, I would be completely stupid to try this if it wasn't going to blow your minds. Because
Exactly.
talk about a hit to my reputation if I just underplayed it.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And as a matter of timing, one of the things I was leading up to is, we had John, a couple months back, and you were getting ready to announce this project,
Mm,
so we didn't say anything about it then. I said, okay, well, we'll have you back,
sure.
after you've announced, and time just got away from us. I haven't been promoting it the way I've intended to, especially and Steven, I know you're in the chat here. Just we should make sure that we are promoting this every Tuesday. That audience that's coming out and enjoying Twin Peaks with us, they're gonna want to be a part of this. So
We
we
only
really should make sure that
we
they're
only have
aware.
30 days left until the campaign officially closes. So
There you go. So let's make sure that we do what we can. Now that you guys know about it, now that I've made you aware of it, yes, I've been slow. I'm taking responsibility for that. But guys,
and I shouldn't
let's mobilize.
and I want you guys to know it's not like um I say I shouldn't to say this, but because I want it to be successful, but
Right.
I want people to know that if you donate money to this campaign and we don't make the goal, you do get refunded.
Right. There you
So,
go.
I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. You either get your money back or we make the film. So,
Well, yeah, that's good to know. But like I was saying in the backdrop before, I got so busy. I've been so focused on Tom Conkle's independent film, and so many other things. That's an excuse. I know. Please, I'm not looking for grace or anything on that. It's just an explanation. But hey, this is grassroots. This is how we operate here, guys. So
and the other thing, sorry to interrupt, but the other thing is like I know times are tough right now. I know some people can't afford it.
yeah,
That being said, a lot of you guys have platforms. A lot of you guys have YouTube channels. A
right,
lot of you
right,
guys
right.
have social media. So like if you're unable to throw in a buck or two, I get it. That being said, use your platform, get the campaign out to people because if all the people who follow you
Yeah,
and all the people who follow them, right? As I said before recording, um, I'm looking for, you can donate whatever you want. You can put in a buck, you can put in 500 bucks. But if
yeah,
500 people threw in $500, we'd be locking down locations tonight.
right.
So if you look at the size of some of these Twin Peaks accounts that are like 200,000 people, and it's
Right.
like it's not going to take much to do it. But the problem
Exactly.
is that you have to get it out there, and the algorithms sometimes are not friendly to a site that's going to take you off their platform.
True.
So, like
True.
with
True.
Facebook, you'll notice on Facebook, people won't even post a link anymore. They'll just say link in the comments because
Yeah.
if they put the link in the post, Facebook doesn't promote it.
Yeah.
Twitter does the same thing as well. Instagram sometimes as well. So, I- you know, so if you don't have the money to contribute, I get it. But you know what's really going to help? Pushing it
Sharing it
out
out.
there.
Yeah.
Having me on as a guest, doing your own YouTube show about doing your own Queen of Hearts live stream up, get just getting the word out there because the more the word gets out there, I hate to say it, but the more
Yeah.
Google goes, ooh, I like this. People like
Right.
it. And then it's promoted.
That's absolutely true. I think if Netter, if you're good with this, I'm sharing a tab right now. Why don't we go ahead and share out, or play the it's just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Play the trailer you got up on the crowdfund page. Let everyone get kind of an idea. Is that okay?
Yes, but first I
Yeah.
want to say hello,
You're
Maria.
Yeah.
you're gonna get a music
Copyright strike.
not a strike, but a warning, just so you know.
A warning, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Is it a claim or a strike that we?
it's a claim.
Okay, claim's not so bad. It's the strike that's a problem.
It's not a strike, it's a claim, but just so
Okay.
you know.
Oh yeah, no, I kind of figured. I kind of know that whenever because honestly, it happened to me the other independent film. It was because we were sharing his stream. It got hit, and I'm like, really, really. But yeah, that's fine. No worries. Okay.
I first met Pamela Gidley. You know how sometimes you meet somebody and you just hit it off with them and you know you're going to be friends? Like by the time I left there, we were already fast friends. And next thing I know, I was going over there and hanging out on a regular basis. And she was into also filmmaking, so I was going to work on some stuff with her, and I was kind of showing her how to use Final Cut Pro. And just became very good friends with her and started hanging out with her a lot. One storyline that's always intrigued me is the Teresa Banks storyline, because I feel there's a lot unexplored and unknown. What went down in her last few days? What happened from the point Teresa Banks makes the phone call to Leland to the point she ends up dead? What actually happened the night Teresa Banks died? Why was she in the Chalfont trailer? All these questions. How did Teresa Banks get the ring? Who were the other Chalfonts that lived in that space? All of these things that are brought up are quite intriguing questions and mysteries. And I've had some interesting thoughts about a lot of that and some interesting ideas about putting out those ideas and thoughts in an interesting form.
Previously on Queen of Hearts. If you've not seen the ending of The Return, turn away now.
Yeah, there are some spoilers here. Deleted scenes. Maybe come back in about 4 minutes.
Hi. I'll be right with you. Let me just put this right here. Whew. It's very nice to meet you.
You too.
Sorry about that. I sometimes don't know if a client's already in the room or not.
Don't worry about it. It's not really an issue. What's your name?
Whatever you want it to be.
Have any interest in knowing my name?
If you want. We're not really supposed to ask too many questions, though. It's kind of frowned upon for us girls to get too personal with a client.
I get it. No need to explain.
Okay. Great.
So, what do we do now?
Whatever you want. You paid for me, and the clock is ticking.
Yeah. So, is there anything you won't do?
You made the arrangements with Miss Hallam. I just follow directions.
Small talk?
Small talk's on the house. Let's start by getting you out of that coat.
All right.
Comfortable?
Getting there.
You're a sweetheart. There's nothing to be nervous about.
If you say so.
You're worried someone's gonna find out, huh?
Yes.
Don't be. Your secret's safe here.
I believe you.
Good. Now close your eyes.
What? Did I do something?
Will this make you forget about whoever it is you're worried about?
Come here. Do you like that?
Hmm?
You tell me otherwise, right?
What do you mean?
I'm just asking if I did something you didn't like. You'd tell me the truth, right? Or would you just let the money talk?
Of course I would. But just so we're clear, should you choose to deviate from your arrangements with Miss Hallam and try something I didn't like, let me remind you that there are 4 rather large men right outside the store, waiting to bust your jaw wide open and drown you in the lake. Welcome to One Eye Jacks. Now lay down. So what gets you off?
This.
Yeah?
Whatever you want.
I'm the one that's here to please you, remember? I know. Is this to your liking?
Sure, for starters. So what turns you on?
You don't want to know about that.
Try me.
Tonight is not about me. It's about you.
I know. I just really
want to know. Okay. You want to know what turns me on?
Yes.
I'm going to kill Laura, Annie,
we are standing here in front of the entrance to Club Silencio. Now, it's their off hours. They like to be open late at night. That's why the gate is down, the neon sign that says Silencio that's normally there is off. But nonetheless, spent a long time in Club Silencio. There was a magician on stage. He was saying it's all an illusion, no I bond to all of this stuff. However, there was another thing that he said. What is not an illusion is this fundraiser. So donate now.
Well, there you go. Wow. That is, wow. I'll tell you, that is the ultimate teaser, right? It's like, wow, I can't wait. I really can't wait.
You know, all those times we never saw what was happening in the back rooms of One Eye Jacks. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can kind of guess, right? You can kind of imagine, but wow. Right. That last line, though, that is... That gets you. It's like, what? Wait, what?
Yes, and how would she know them all? Because
exactly.
Because by the time she would know Annie, Laura's dead, and before she would know Cooper.
Would she even know Laura by that name? By the name Laura?
Well, she works at One Eye Jacks.
Yeah, she did, but
so did Laura.
Right. But I mean, did Laura use her real name? I don't know.
Oh, they all know. They all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah.
I mean, even if she didn't use her real name, they you know, it's like if the people who work at a strip club, they know their real names versus their stage names.
Well, and of course, I mean, you know, obviously Ben Horn would know. So you know, so yeah. I mean, that was part and parcel. Yeah, good point. Sometimes I just got to think these things through. But boy, that scrambles.
Well, I'm also trying to play a little, you know, I got to play a little mysterious here because otherwise it would give away the story.
Well, no, of course. But I still, of course, I start to think about the what we do know of the when and as far as we've gotten. So yeah. Wow, that's great. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I will, like I said, I will be doing a much better job of sharing that out, and I know that deleted scenes is going to help remind me.
Well, I see some of the people in your chat are very confused about what you were just showing them.
Yeah. So let's go back and kind of give the 40,000 foot overview.
So Josh's segment is just sort of a little teaser about what his film is going to go into. He didn't have time to film something with an actor and kind of do what I did, which was kind of like its own scene. So like I said, the actors who were in Queen of Hearts, they're scattered all over the country right now. So I couldn't get them all together to shoot like basically a big teaser trailer. So I said, you know what, let's do a kind of a teaser scene and kind of lull people into like, what is this? Yeah. This is not at all what I expected to be the follow-up to Queen of Hearts, and then hit you with that tagline. And if you are an observant fan of Twin Peaks, and I don't think we should get into it if you guys noticed it, but when she lays him down on that rug is in a very specific outline.
Yep.
So go back if you missed that, but you know, One Eye Jacks is something that Queen of Hearts didn't get into. We didn't need to, but now I want to get into other territory that is going to kind of bookend what we did in Queen of Hearts. But and in Queen of Hearts, a lot of it is sort of the hero's journey. A lot of it is about Annie and Cooper and Caroline and sort of them looking inwards and, you know, and kind of seeing how they can become better people in this grand scheme of what's going on between the lodges and everything like that.
Right.
So now that was an interior story. So when you do the bookend, you have to do an exterior story. So now they're going to be up against a threat.
Right.
And as we know from the ending of season 3, a threat is definitely coming.
Absolutely.
And so now I wanted to kind of sort of hint at they are going to be charged at from so many different um, angles. But now, since what we know about these characters, the fact that what we learned about Cooper and Laura by the end of season 3, we now know that Annie is sort of like the Wonka Vader. She can move through time and space.
It's kind of like the Wonka Vader.
That's how I always
Upways and downways and sideways and slantways.
yeah, and you know who else can do that? The actual queen in the chess game.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Yes,
right. So Annie is literally like not only the Queen of Hearts from Miss Twin Peaks, she's the queen of the chessboard, and she's also somebody who can literally move through time and space at her will. She is sort of the Doctor Who in a way, Yeah. I mean, she goes and gives Laura that message in Fire Walk
and I don't feel like that's a spoiler. I mean, we kind of get that from Fire Walk with Me.
Yes,
write it in your diary and all that kind of thing.
Right.
On Teresa with a T, I know Josh isn't here to talk about it himself, but I've seen that a couple times now, and that was the first time it really like light bulbed in my head. He basically was saying kind of like Fire Walk with Me, but for Teresa.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. And yes, when we start the journey, episode 1 of Twin Peaks, Laura's dead. Right? And everything we know is flashback. It's, her diary. It's, all of that. And what is Fire Walk with Me? Okay, let's jump back and take a look at that. And a lot of it we already knew. We'll fill in some gaps and details. But with Teresa, same kind of thing. She's already dead by the time we get there. Fire Walk with Me, we get a little brief glimpse, and we didn't see anything that led up to that. So that might be.
Oh, it's gonna be something else because, Josh, like me, pulls from all, from the books, from the shows, from the deleted stuff, from things that he knows was filmed, but they still never put into the into the missing pieces.
Exactly.
So be able to kind of get into all that, and I mean, Teresa Banks was something that nobody was even thinking of, so much so that when Fire Walk with Me begins, they literally have to put the words Teresa Banks on the water, otherwise everyone's going to think that's Laura.
Well, yeah, exactly. I one of the things that we've talked about on Tuesdays is that a lot of people have asked, well, you finish season 2, we're going to see season 3, where are we going to go from here? There's a lot of places to go because I said, I feel like you can't just watch something that's got the Twin Peaks logo on it and get all of Twin Peaks. You kind of want to see Mulholland Drive. You want to see Inland Empire. You want to see, all of these things kind of put you in that headspace and kind of have a little bit of bearing on it. So we'll be looking at all of that too. And you guys are right in that,
Oh, yeah. I mean, even the floor in Eraserhead is the chevron floor from the lodge.
That's exactly true.
It's all connected, even if it's not connected.
I got to be careful because I think I went a little too far a couple weeks ago. I played two other fan films just to share. Don't know if you've ever seen them. Chris Matthews had done
the one about the bird,
the Flappy, which everyone loved, and then Brian did one Beyond the Meanwhile, and everyone was just lost because it's very, very surrealistic. And I'm like, whatever your interpretation, just go with it. I can't say too much about this. It's a mood piece. Just take it for what it's worth. And I think I kind of lost people on that one.
Yeah,
have you ever seen that one?
No, actually,
okay.
I've usually have seen most of them. Yeah, I'm very different than other types of fan films only because, and this is not a knock against them, but
Yeah.
a lot of times what happens is, and this isn't having to do with any of the two you just mentioned, but people will like watch Twin Peaks one time and be like, oh my god, I love it, I love the mood, I love the
Yeah.
shots, and then they'll go make one, and it's like, you know, what if somebody had sat with this material for 30 years and then made one, you know? Like
Right.
that's there's just a difference, I think, to how the material is explored.
Right.
You know, I mean, as you can see, even this in this little standalone scene featuring two nameless characters, but you can see that, like, my like, for instance, like my style is, it's very much in the world of Twin Peaks, but it is not aping David Lynch or Mark Frost. But you know where you are, you know,
Right.
but it's not trying to be David Lynch. And I think a lot of filmmakers, or even a lot of people who do fan art, like you'll notice, and I try to walk carefully when I say this because I'm not trying to knock people, but they'll see an image from Twin Peaks and they'll draw it, and they'll draw it perfectly. But the problem is that they're drawing it from David Lynch's camera's point of view, and that's
Right.
David Lynch's idea of that scene. And it's like, take, you know, go 3 steps to the right, go 3 steps to the left, go to the other side of the room, show us your perception of that
Right.
scene, you know.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
that's where I'm going for, is like, it's like even in the scenes in Queen of Hearts that go back to Twin Peaks, it's never shot exactly the way they would have done it, because then
right.
it's me trying to be them.
Yeah, and I think that's just it. So I think about some of the fan art that I've seen, and it's like, yeah, that's good, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But what you're basically doing is what I used to do as a kid and trace, you know, the cover of the Star Wars storybook. You know, okay, great. What have I contributed? You know, a facsimile of something that already exists.
I want,
Let's
because
go beyond it.
if Twin Peaks means something to each person individually, then I want to see that reflected back in your work. I want to see your individuality, like Sailor Ripley, right? Your individuality in the piece. I want to be able to, I don't want to see somebody copying David Lynch. I want to see you in that piece. And, you know, one thing about Queen of Hearts is, like, yes, it is. If you love Twin Peaks, you're gonna love this thing. If you really, you know, just, you know, want to get into more material, at the same time, it's very much me.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody said to me, well, your outlook on life is all over that film. And it's like,
Right.
well, it should, because that's, you know,
Right.
one, I'm making it, and two, it's like, I don't know, it's you know, you want everyone to, you know, bring just a little bit of themselves to the material, but not change the material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's that tightrope. You're in that world, and you're not trying to, like, make it something it's not. You want to respect everything that came before it, but at the same time, though, if you're just gonna shoot it pretending to be David Lynch, then what are you doing?
Right, exactly. And I know that, you know, we're going to, like I said, we're about to enter the return. Then we, of course, will be checking out Queen of Hearts, and I know I'm going to have the same reaction with Queen of Hearts that I did with the return. I'm going to go, wow, I never thought of that. Wow, that's brilliant. Wait, what? You know, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm not I'm not somebody who's going to try and confuse you, you know.
Right.
That's one thing that's different than, you know, me and David Lynch, is like, I don't try to explain everything, but I won't just, like, just try to mess with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, you know, sometimes I think he enjoys kind of, you know, playing with people's perceptions about that kind of thing. And I'm very much more of a, I wouldn't say a playwright, but, you know, somebody who definitely, characters are very, very important to me. Not that it's
Yeah.
not important to David Lynch, but, like, I really want to make sure you know how a character gets from A to B to C, and
Yeah.
and he just wants to get you from A to D, and
Well,
not and sometimes
yeah,
not.
and this is something that I've mentioned on the Tuesday show. My speculation always was exactly what you just said about David Lynch, but I felt like Mark Frost being there, he was more. If you think about that scene in Fire Walk with Me, where they're breaking down, the blue rose and the red dress and the stitches and all the symbolism and so forth, I always felt like Mark Frost was the one who wanted there to be, symbolism and meaning that people could suss out, whereas I felt like Lynch was like, that's not really, the important thing to me, but whatever.
Well, you gotta, and I think it's a tightrope. You have to know when to do what, right?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
there are times to explain things, and then there's things that don't need to be explained. You can infer to it, But it's you have to just use your sensibilities to know whether some things you don't need to over explain. But
It's what and we've talked about this before, the fact that oh wait, what is it about Twin Peaks that makes you such a big fan? That is a great question.
I was scrolling back up through the comments because I thought I saw a question.
Yeah, I don't think I asked that question last time you were.
All right, well, to talk about another fandom, Star Wars, for instance. Yeah. A lot of people, Star Wars hit them at the right age, right?
Right.
And so between 77 to 83, they were in that sweet spot, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I like Star Wars too, but I was like 7 when Return of the Jedi came out. So I liked it, really enjoyed it, but I'm 7 years old and I love all the monsters and that type of thing. In 1990, I saw Blue Velvet, and then right after I saw Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks dropped, and then in August, Wild at Heart dropped, and so it was the year of David Lynch. But what a lot of people don't seem to get about David Lynch is that even though he's dealing with mysteries and surrealism and all that, and I love it, if you look at that period from 86 to 92 when he did Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, and Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me, he's also dealing with the coming of age teen film.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was 14 to 16 at that age. So it all the other stuff is great, but the coming of age aspect, hit me the way 16 Candles and the Breakfast Club hit other people, a few years before. So I said, wait a minute, you can do horror, you can do comedy, you can do drama, you can do soap opera, you can do teen, you can do coming of age, all in one piece, right? It's just, and then of course Twin Peaks had the ability to explore that, being 29 episodes or so.
Yeah.
So it became sort of, and Twin Peaks was on it for a year, it seemed like a long time, but it was only on for a year total. And then the next year, Fire Walk with Me came out. So it, even though I love Mulholland Drive and Straight Story and The Return and all that, 86 to 92, that period I feel like was David Lynch almost at his purest, or not necessarily purest, because the Razorhead and stuff is, obviously he didn't know he was going to make any money, so that's the purest probably. But in terms of the mainstream pop culture version of David Lynch, he never was as hot as he was during that period. I would say maybe now he's kind of elevated to like Werner Herzog and John Waters to like a grandfather status. Now people like worship him as David Lynch for being David Lynch, but in 1990 he was like the man. He was the auteur. He's winning the Palme d'Or. He's got the show with the most Emmys. It's the most watched show on TV. Blue Velvet is considered a masterpiece. I mean, Wild at Heart is doing really well at the box office. I mean, he never had a year like that again.
Yeah, it's great to hear you say that, because I'm listening to you and I'm going, man, I've told very similar story. It's clear that you and I have chewed a lot of the same fandom ground in this regard. I told a very similar story when I said, it was right after I had graduated high school and I had just gotten into college when Twin Peaks dropped, and I was very much identifying with those characters. I just gotten out of my senior year. These kids are all in their senior year. It's like, okay, I could imagine myself, in that little town, and it just swept me away. Then I went to got married. We, went out to Washington State for the festival.
Yeah, because he had to be married first before he did that.
Well, no, I'm just saying that we happened to get married, and you get a little bit more stable financially to make a cross country trip, for something like that. And you can't be in the North Bend, Snoqualmie area and not feel like you are literally in Twin Peaks.
Well, I think what happened is that a lot of times you'll write something and then you'll try and find the locations to match it and that type of thing. I think that from what I understand, and this is why it makes perfect sense to me, is that Mark Frost and David Lynch had the idea for Twin Peaks, had the idea for some of the places it could take place in, and then they went location hunting, found that area because Lynch and Kyle MacLachlan were from that area. And then I think once they got to Snoqualmie, North Bend, they were like, okay, well, how about instead of a hotel, we have a hotel on the falls? And what if, here's the Sleepy Diner and here's this and that. And I think then when they came back, they wrote to the locations.
Yeah.
And so therefore, it already feels lived in. When you watch that pilot at Twin Peaks, usually TV, it'll take like, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes for the actors to feel like they're situated and the show knows what it's doing. And,
right.
You watch the pilot of Twin Peaks, it feels like episode 4 of Star Wars. It already feels like a completely lived in universe.
Right.
And none of the actors are feeling their way in their parts. Like that's who they are. The only one you could maybe say would be Kyle as Cooper. He's a little tougher and harsher in the pilot than he is in the rest of the series.
Which really speaks to the impact that the town and the people in the town have on him.
Right.
And you expect him to be the outsider, right?
Right.
I mean,
but when he comes in
right there, and we are the outsider with him.
Right. So when he comes in, he's a little like, oh, that's right. You're a football player, aren't you, Bobby? Like he doesn't do that in the rest of the series. He's more of an instigator in the pilot a little bit during the interrogation scenes. But I also think that it's also, he's coming out of town. He's, he's thinking he's going to come in. This is going to be an open shut case, and then by the 4th episode, he's asking about real estate. So.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Well, and that's something about Dale, right? When he makes a decision, he's all in. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that everyone that I've ever met that you would loosely describe as a Twin Peaks fan, they have fallen in love with Twin Peaks.
Sure.
I mean the town.
Sure.
I mean, we always talk about, the setting being a character.
Yep.
People say this about Trek, the Enterprise is a character, right?
Sailing with Serenity and Firefly, right?
Exactly. And and so when those ships are destroyed, it's like your favorite character just died, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, Twin Peaks, to a lot of people, is the primary character. And actually, that's probably not a bad way to think about it. When you start thinking about the lodges and what the local history and all this kind of stuff, yeah, it kind of is a central character that everyone else is kind of sussing out, including the people that live there.
Right.
So,
and Dale Cooper was my Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I absolutely see that. And it's funny to say that, but it's true. I mean, it's like whatever hits you at ages 12 to 16, that's what's and it's like Agent Cooper kind of. I felt like I aged with him, and when I say Agent Cooper, I'm starting with Jeffrey Beaumont
because even though Blue Velvet is not the actual prequel to Twin Peaks,
Yeah,
it is the prequel to Twin Peaks because
yeah,
I mean, Jeffrey Beaumont pretty much is going to become Dale Cooper, and him and Sandy are Dale and Diane. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get that.
And,
I didn't see that until season. I'm like, okay, this actually makes.
oh, I
such
knew right
perfect
up from the
sense.
start that Laura Dern was going to be Diane. I
It,
always,
it does
even
make perfect
even in
sense.
1990, I was like, oh, that's why she's absent all the time, because at that time movie stars didn't do TV.
Right.
And so I thought, oh, that's David Lynch's funny way of keeping her off screen until he can get her. And so in Fire Walk with Me, I thought, oh, we're going to finally see Laura Dern come as Diane. But she was shooting another movie at the time that they were doing Fire Walk with Me, so you don't get that. You still don't
That
get her
is
in the.
fun. That I didn't know. That's very good. That's very
Yeah, but and then of course when she shows up in season 3, it was like, duh. I mean, it's like it's so obvious.
I do want to point out, and I think we bring this up all the time. The original idea had been not to solve the mystery of Laura Palmer, and I keep pointing out to everyone, technically, yes, we may have solved the murder, but we still haven't solved the mystery of Laura Palmer yet. That mystery kind of continues on.
Yeah, I don't believe for 1 second though that they would have been able to go 5 years without solving the the murder.
That's true, but we are talking about there are greater mysteries,
Sure.
and there are still missing pieces, which is why I want to point everyone again to this Indiegogo.
Mm-hmm.
You can contribute in such a way as to help bring together more of the missing pieces.
Heck, if 100 of you put in $1,
Yes.
okay, Indiegogo will see 100 different transactions go, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, something's happening here." Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be a big increment. Obviously, we love it, but
Yeah.
it's about movement, right?
Yeah.
The more movement the campaign has, the more Indiegogo kind of wakes back up.
Todd, you want to share your screen again and show off some of those chairs?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
One chair that I wanted,
Yeah, we missed it.
I missed it. It was Michael Ikeen's photo.
How do I
Signed
here we
photo.
go.
It's like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
suppose you have any spares. I want one.
Share. Hold on.
Well, and then the poor person who bought it, they won't get it if it
Well, that's
doesn't
true.
doesn't
Yeah.
hit the goal. So that's another reason to contribute.
let's
But you know, I mean,
share
the
screen.
thing is, though, is I know there's a lot of crap out there in this day and age about fan films and everything, but like, obviously, we have to say this for legal reasons, right?
Mhm.
But
Right.
the intent has always been from Queen of Hearts, and I know Josh's with his film and my film with Black Rose, is what if we were allowed to explore this material or continue the material? How would we approach this?
Right.
You know, and it's not like, oh, we're just kind of scribbling away. Like, I mean, you know, Josh, you've talked to me a few times now.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure you can feel like we're not going to half-ass this.
No.
Right? I mean, it's like the amount of detail, the amount of characters, the love and passion. I mean, one thing that everybody says to me after they watch Queen of Hearts is you can feel the love of that material in that film. I mean, and you just and a lot of fan films, they're doing it because it's cool and it's fun, and you know, and that's great. I mean, every creator should be able to do their thing, but like for me, I feel like if I am going to throw my hat in the ring and be like, I'm going to make something that takes place in the Twin Peaks universe, it better live up to my expectations, and my expectations are big.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and so yeah.
So here we go. First one, obviously, introductory one. Special thanks credit. Is this picture? Is that Kyle in
No,
front?
that's
No, it's not?
that's my actor from Queen of Hearts.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, but is the setting, is the background, is that next to the filming location for Big Ed's Gas Farm?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
You fooled me. You fooled me.
That's actually a pickup shot that we got during the pandemic.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's great. Who is the dreamer? To thank you, to thank you a step further for making our dream a reality, we'll give you a personal shout out on social media in front of our collective fan base of over 100,000 followers across Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter X, previous tier included. Jack with one eye. Receive a PDF of the shooting script the day after release, all previous tiers included. I know where Audrey is. Be in on the know of all things Black Rose, a Twin Peaks fan film, and Teresa with a T, a Twin Peaks fan film. This tier will get you important backer updates throughout the production and an exclusive look at additional behind-the-scenes photos and videos. Includes the special thanks, the shout-out, and PDF.
And it just goes on from there.
Yep.
Now this picture here with Kyle, this
Yes.
was amazing. We were up in Washington State. He was doing one of his meet and greets for his wines. I was able to talk to him for about 10 minutes, and I was, we were just chit-chatting about a bunch of things, but he saw I was holding this poster, and he was asking me about it, and I was telling him about it, and he was really fascinated that of all the Twin Peaks lore, I would make a huge film about Annie and Caroline. But I was telling him about it, and he was really interested and fascinated by it, and then I said, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe doing a continuation, but I'm not sure. I have to see if there's any support. And he said, well, if we take a picture with this poster, you'll get support. And I said, all right.
That's true. That's certainly.
And I mean, I probably would have asked him to take a picture with it anyway, just because I worked my ass off on this film. And obviously, if he wasn't Dale Cooper, I don't know if this film exists.
Right.
But at the same time, though, it was his idea to do this, and
that is pretty awesome.
It's
pretty awesome.
It's
like getting the blessing, right?
Right. Well, they always say, don't meet your heroes. Well, if you can meet Kyle MacLachlan, meet him, because he's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to wonder. I've had so many great encounters with. Like for example, Charlotte Stewart, right? I mean, she had in her mind, her whole backstory and this whole vision that they had for their son and so on and so on. I'm like, wow, that's somebody who really got into her character. I always wondered if Kyle was the same way with Cooper,
I think he was for, let's say, half of the series.
Yeah.
Not that he phoned it in, but I think at a certain point he was just kind of like, because he was doing The Doors at this time, and
oh, that's right, that is right.
So obviously, once you're being directed by Oliver Stone, you kind of want to get off TV. You know what I mean? It's like, but then years later, he looked back and was like, "Oh man, I really kind of messed up not doing Fire Walk with Me, and I wish I could have another chance at this character." And so he got to do The Return, and he was able to pull off several great performances in that.
Yep.
But anyway, he was really fascinated by me doing this whole film called Queen of Hearts, and so he's I mean, and so I've been trying to kind of get the word out there, not only because of the Black Rose continuation, but there's still a lot of people who don't even know that Queen of Hearts exists.
Sure.
So I'm trying to get that out to people, and I understand the length is daunting. However, you can watch it in pieces, but I prefer you to watch it as the solo video, because it's the most up to date with the edit and the effects and that type of thing. But I think if you really love Twin Peaks you're not going in expecting a multi-million-dollar production, but a $20,000 production here,
well,
and you just kind of stick with it.
Yeah.
Because it's not Kyle MacLachlan, it's not Heather Graham, it's not,
but it is those characters. That's what's key.
Right. And you're going to at first be put off because you're going to be like, okay, these aren't the actors I know of. But just stick with it, because it will pay off. I promise you, it will pay off.
Right.
And everyone who does stick with it, they've always written to me and said, like, is there going to be more?
Right. It's been my experience, going back to what you were saying about Kyle, and everyone that I met that appeared in Twin Peaks. Netter and I have met a lot of people that were in Star Trek. We've been to a lot of different conventions for a lot of the different fandoms that we really love. And when you have something that fans have been so diehard about for decades, it's been my experience that they are sometimes very surprised and very appreciative.
Sure.
It's like, wow, I feel so, so pulled in and loved, because, we share this thing. And yeah, absolutely do. And I guess that's part of why, me and Netter and Deleted Scenes and Age of Boomer, on Tuesdays, we've been, doing this to just kind of bring together fans that already loved it and wanted to revisit Twin Peaks, but then bring in a new audience that had not experienced it, because we live in this glorious age that didn't exist when Twin Peaks started. There was no physical media that you could rewatch it on, and now you can watch it over and over and over again to your heart's content.
Right.
Or, as you're doing, make new stuff too.
And also stuff that doesn't negate anything from the show. It just sits alongside of it, and you can watch it or you can choose not to watch it. But if you do watch it, it's not gonna, pardon my French, crap all over your memories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
It's there to complement everything that the creators did, and not, yes, it does tell its own story, it does its own thing, but not at the expense of what came before,
Yeah. And and I've said this about other things, guys. Again, this is a grassroots thing. Don't feel if you don't have it, you don't have 20 grand to throw into this. That's fine. You got a few bucks. The price of a cup of coffee at the Double R Diner. Throw that into it.
The one thing you have to watch out for is that when you do make a contribution, Indiegogo tries to give you a tip.
Yep.
All you have to do is say 0 on that, or I'm going to donate, and then you don't have to give them a tip.
Exactly.
Yeah, GoFundMe does the same thing, and it's like, nope, I want all the money to be going to the person I'm donating to, and what the heck are you doing that you deserve a tip?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, what's their means for doing that? Like, if everybody gives them a tip, do they promote it more? Like what is the...
No, they just want a piece of the action.
Well, no, and you're absolutely right, though. You would expect that there would be, but you'd think then they'd say that up front, right?
Right.
Because then, if more people tip, then we'll promote it more. Well, okay, I will suggest that people, throw in that tip so that it, has a greater impact. They don't say that, then I have no impotence.
Right. So I just want people to be aware, because I've had a few people email me saying, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know that was going to happen." I said, "Well, just..."
And it's like a percentage of what they gave, right? So it could be
the other thing that I didn't know, because I think it was different a few years ago when I did Queen of Hearts, but Indiegogo at this moment does not take PayPal. It's only debit and credit, which is a huge bummer.
Yeah.
I believe PayPal was accepted back in 2018 when we did Queen Arts, but I'm not sure. But so I apologize for that. I guess you could do a direct payment to my PayPal, but
right.
But just so you know, they don't.
But then
take
you'd
PayPal.
have to manage that. And
well, I mean, that's not an issue, but I'm just saying, like, it's a bummer they don't accept that.
But notice too, guys, I didn't notice this before, but there's two options here. Pick your perk and contribute without a perk. If you're not in it for the perk, you just want to see that this happens, and you just want to write your own value,
right?
Contribute without perk, and just whatever
you can see
do.
we're only at 6%.
Yeah.
However, like I said, once we hit that sweet spot between 50 and 60,000, then I think there'll be definitely promotion from Indiegogo, because they're going to want their money.
Yeah, exactly.
And they take 5% of every transaction. So
Yeah,
It's
so why are you tipping if they're already taking a piece off the top, you know?
I would agree with you on that. I didn't even know that was a thing until we went live. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like we donated to another fundraiser and they wanted a $36 tip. I'm like, no. It's like, why am I tipping you?
right,
Yeah.
right. Um, but yeah, uh, I know you don't want to go much further than we were already over your allotment time, but
Yeah, no, that's fine.
but I just want to say that anything anybody can do, we have 30 days left. And, if you can throw in a buck or more, fantastic. If you can just share it,
Yeah.
great. If you can talk your friends into checking it out, because that's going to be wild. I mean, since a good portion of my film has to do with One Eye Jacks, we're gonna get a little. It's gonna get a little wild in there.
I would imagine. And you know what? I like I said, I've been beating myself up for not doing more. I will get more regular about sharing this out myself, and I'm trusting everybody that's hearing me in the chat. When you see me on social media and you see me share it out, you know what to do. You just hit the like, hit the reshare, whatever. Let's get this out to as many people as we can. If you are keyed into other people that you know of that are
Well, even
either
if
already Twin Peaks fans or you think might become Twin Peaks fans, get them out on Tuesday to get them involved with us watching the shows, and tell them about this and give them an opportunity to be involved.
And also, even if they're not into Twin Peaks, I mean, just this is
True.
this is independent cinema. It's one of the things that
Yes.
I posted at the beginning of that 10-minute trailer you showed.
Yeah.
Is the idea that while people make fun of fan films because there's all these Star Wars fan films that get made and all that kind of thing, there's something kind of cool about them in a way where I say they're kind of the underground film movement of the 21st century. People can make them. There's so many avenues to release them. And, back in the 60s, people used to go into like church basements and watch Kenneth Anger movies and things like that. Well, now we have the internet. And it's just kind of fun to me to think about that, like, that people can make their own stories and then share them with the world, and people can kind of trade them, like, oh, did you see this one? Oh no, I haven't. And then that one just blows your mind.
Well, thank you, Deleted Scenes. Deleted Scenes just contributed to the rock back inside my heart tier.
Thank you.
He loves the music, so he
that was a very generous donation. Thank you. And I want to remind you, if we don't meet the goal, you do get it refunded. But it truly means a lot. Like, we went over a week without getting a donation. So whenever I get that little notification saying we got one, it just means the world. Because I remember just how much people donated to Queen of Hearts. They didn't really expect anything. And then when I dropped that first act for people, they were like, oh my God, like, this is what we're getting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, and when it comes to one thing, I wanted to temper what you had just said about fan films. I think, especially in this community, the idea behind fan films is it's more about independent films, right? Mm-hmm. We, in the YouTube community, the fandom on YouTube has a tendency to be very critical of the studio system at this point.
Sure.
And we're saying, we're fed up with it. We want more independent film. So I see, when I share about Tom Conkle's movie Island in the Stars, when I, share about this, people get excited because they're like, wow, something that not only, can I be enjoying that hasn't been corrupted by the studio system, but I can also be in on the ground floor. I can feel like I'm a part of it, like I contributed to it. There's value in that. So I think this is a fertile soil.
The big difference is that, like, when it comes to something like Star Wars or Star Trek, there's a lot of fan films that go, we don't like the way the studio is dealing with it, so we want to, do our own version of it and make it, something that, is more what the
Right.
fans want.
Right.
The difference between those and what I'm doing is that I like what Mark Frost and David Lynch did.
Right.
I'm just wanting to, for my own, fun and because the fans would love to explore this material more until we get something else. Just doing these kind of like offshoot stories that kind of inform and make us love the material more.
You make a great point. I always felt like David Lynch was, I don't know if I would say David Lynch was on our side or we're on David's side, because he rebelled against the established. I mean, when he's smashing that TV at the beginning of Fire Walk with Me, he's making a very clear, there's no ambiguity, there's no symbolism there. He's saying something very direct, and we're like, yes, we want you to make your thing. Your thing is what we want, not what ABC wanted, not what, and whatever.
And David Lynch will not watch the fan films because he obviously doesn't want to be corrupted by the ideas, you know what I mean? And because he wants to think about Twin Peaks in his own way.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I almost don't want him to. I almost want to make sure that what he's, when he does, something new, with it, that it is his pure vision,
Right.
And I respect the hell out of that.
Right. And thank you, Curtis. Curtis just made a contribution, so thank you very much for that. It means a lot.
You guys are awesome. See, I knew I could count on you guys. And we got 30 days to make something else happen. So make sure you're sharing it out too.
And I jokingly said this the other day on my show, but at the same time, though, there is a sincerity part of this, which is, look, one day, somebody, some studio is going to try and make Twin Peaks when David Lynch and Mark Frost are no longer here. It's too big of an IP, and they're going to try and make this, and it's going to happen one day, folks. It is going to happen one day. So in a way, with Queen of Hearts and Black Rose, I almost want to have this material out there, so when that doomsday moment happens, that I can be in a position to be like, listen, if you don't want to fall on your face, let me and a few other people come in and shepherd this to make sure that we do this correctly.
I'm going to put you on the spot with a question, but obviously it's just your opinion, so I guess it doesn't matter that much.
His opinion doesn't matter?
No, his opinion does matter, but I mean, it's not... Do you think there will be, that David and Mark will do another Twin Peaks related project?
If it happens, it won't be another season. It would be like a standalone Carrie Page movie or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't know if you saw it or not, but the Twin Peaks blog, Stephen Miller posted this article the other day about the guy that was, dead in Carrie Page. Oh, sorry, spoilers. The guy, there's a body found at a certain point. And,
that gets and I don't even know what to make of all that.
But the actor went online and they found like a kind of a back and forth message with another person where he said that at the time that he was shooting that moment, he was told that he might be coming back for something. So I do think they were planning on doing sort of a, not necessarily
like a Fire Walk with Me for Carrie Page.
Yes, so that you could see why what had happened in that house before Cooper arrived.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
So I wouldn't put it past them to do that. I wouldn't put it past Lynch to just do it on his own if Mark Frost wasn't interested. Yeah. I think it would be a cool little bookend type of thing. But
nice.
Do I think Twin Peaks is over? No. I think it will. I think it's now here to stay.
Yeah.
The fans in many ways keep it alive. But do I think that in our lifetime we're going to see another incarnation of Twin Peaks comes out, even if Lynch and Frost are not involved? Yes.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think that you'd go that all in on it, but now I'm really glad that I asked. Good.
So obviously, I we'd love for them to be involved, but if they're not involved, I want to make sure that I'm in a position where there are people creatives out there, and me being maybe one of them, that can make sure that, like, if it's gonna be done at all, it better be done correctly.
Yeah. I do feel like the studio system got a loud, clear message when in the lead up to the return, when not only those involved in the film, the actors and the fans were
Right.
all just hashtagging, no Lynch, no.
However, Kyle had already signed the contract,
Yeah,
so
there wasn't anything he could do.
he was going to be locked in regardless.
Yeah.
But obviously Lynch came back, and a lot of, I remember even at the time I was saying, like, well, Mark Frost could direct it, or Leslie Glatter, who was from the original season and series, and she had done Homeland for Showtime. I was like, these people could do it. However, once you see season 3, you realize, no, that thing was written specifically for Lynch's style.
Yes.
Nobody else could have made season 3 because the script wasn't written like seasons 1 and 2. It was written for Lynch's style. So,
and Julian Scenes and I had talked about this as we were going through season 2. Our opinions about season 2 have changed. When we originally watched it, when it first aired, we felt like, okay, I feel like some of the writers don't necessarily know what David Lynch is getting at. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, they absolutely did. There is some intentional change in feeling here. And then I saw it again when I watched The Return. I'm like, okay, now I am getting what they're laying out. I was the one that was missing the point to some degree, which is kind of why it's great to be able to watch these things over and over again.
Absolutely.
Get
absolutely.
better perspective on it. And I do believe, thank you everyone who contributed already tonight. I know some of you guys are going to be doing so in the next days and weeks because, you got to get, sometimes you don't have
We'll try not to wait too long because we want Indiegogo to kind of wake up and
exactly.
Do something,
Yeah, time is as valuable as, when they say time is money, this is literally true in this case. So if you can do
right.
But I knew I could count on you guys.
I thank you very much for all your contributions. I thank you very much, you guys, for letting me come on and talk about this. Unfortunately, I have to go and get my son to bed, but
that's fine. That's fine. Let me just real quick say our goodbyes, and then Netter and I will let you go, and then we'll shut down the show. But can we get you back maybe? Well,
I said
after the thing.
After you watch Queen of Hearts, bring me on and we can have a discussion about it.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, back on here to talk about, when we're getting close to the end of the campaign, maybe do another push or something.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Whatever we can do. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Cameron, take care. Get out of here and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Cameron.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
And the rest of you guys know how this goes. We're just going to kind of bring it on in and finish out the show. Thanks for sticking around with us an extra half hour. I think it was absolutely worth it. I think you guys really encouraged Cameron. I super appreciate that.
See, I bring on a guest who talks about Twin Peaks, and I could just let Troy run with it.
Yeah, she knows that. She's like, I know. I think, would you step away to do something for a little while or something? It's like, oh, Troy's got this.
Yeah, I sold something on eBay, so I found a box, weighed it, measured it.
So, but I hope you will come back tomorrow night over to my channel. Last call, regular time, 9:00. We will go. I'm expecting we'll probably go late. I'm sure we will, because we'll be celebrating. We'll be celebrating my acceptance into the YouTube partner program. I am a partner now, not just an indentured servant.
But you've always been my partner.
I will always be your partner. Absolutely. There will be a number of guests cycling in throughout the night. And I hope all of you will be there too. So that's tomorrow night on my channel. Saturday, over on Big Al Presents, the movie will be Gumball Rally. I was mistaken. I thought that Jackie Chan was in it, but maybe I was wrong about that. I've looked back and I just have not seen the movie. I haven't seen it, so I don't know much about it. Looks funny, looks entertaining. I think we'll have a lot of fun. We'll figure it out on Saturday. Sunday, of course, Deleted Scenes has, yes, Gum Ball Rally. Exactly, like, chewing gum, balls. Yeah. Sunday, I believe that's 3 Central, 4 Eastern. Western Cinema Presents with Deleted Scenes and Jedi Bill. Deleted Scenes, what's the Western this Sunday? And then, of course, at 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern, Deleted Scenes Unscripted. 1 hour lead in before I'm guessing it'll be a little bit of a rant. Usually it is a little bit of a rant to get you hyped up for Geeky Geezers at 8 Central, 9 Eastern on Aged Boomers channel. Welcome, DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, thanks for stopping by. So we're just wrapping up.
Yeah, we are just wrapping up. But of course, you can always rewind and watch Memorex. And then, of course, we'll wind out the weekend with Deleted Scenes. The Other Side of Midnight. That's the other side of midnight, literally on the East Coast. 12:05 or so midnight, and 11-ish or so Central Time.
DJ Ryan G said, shame I didn't set my VCR to record this.
Yes. Oh, I like how you think, my friend. Monday, last calls Monday night at the movies, the Father's Day special. We will be watching Mr. Mom from 1983 and Father's Day from 1997. So a Father's Day double feature. And there's Outlaw Bill. I guess I should start saying Outlaw Bill instead of Jedi Bill now. Yes. I understand
he had a name change, just in case anybody's confused.
Yep. We'll just say Deleted Scene Sidekick. Sorry, I had to. Of course, we've been talking about it a number of times tonight. Every Tuesday on Deleted Scenes channel. Join Deleted Scenes, Netter, myself, Aged Boomer, as we continue our Twin Peaks trek. This will be our part 3 of See You in 25 Years. But this will be a longer feature because we will be watching Fire Walk with Me with the missing pieces. So it'll be an extended film on Tuesday, starting at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Which brings us back to next Thursday, Natter. What are you doing next Thursday?
Well, next Thursday I have a tentative guest.
Okay.
Really hoping that she can make it. Her name is Alana. I don't know her last name.
I'm having a brain fart. I forgot.
She used to co-host on Melissa Pay's channel, and she's branching out on her own. So I want to have a chat with her, see what she's up to, what her new ventures are, and I'm really hoping she's going to make it. Last I heard, she's still tentative, but she's really hoping she can make it.
Oh, I'm Carter. I'm sorry.
Carter. Okay. Alana Carter. I better put that in my notes because
Carter.
Alana. Okay.
Elan.
Oh.
Elan Carter.
Oh, I thought, okay. Let me change my notes because I got her as something else. That's what happens when you mishear things. So, Elan Carter. So we want to see, what she's been up to since she left the show, and how her new ventures are going. So hopefully, like I said, she will be confirming with me shortly, and we'll have her on next week. If not, it'll still be me and Troy. So whether we have a guest or not, I hope I'll see you back here again next Thursday. Same time as always. because we never change.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it for that. Anything else you want to say, sweetie?
Nope. That's it. You guys have been wonderful. Thank
Do
you.
you want to hype your next Friday's show too, just to keep getting it word
Oh,
out?
yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go a week and a day. So,
Only because it's so important.
yeah, I do have a very special guest on the 21st. That's a week from tomorrow. Tony Roberts of Analog Toys is going to be returning, but we're not going to be talking toys. A lot of people may not even realize this, but June is Men's Mental Health Month. I know everyone else wants to lay claim to June, but it also happens to be Men's Mental Health Month. And Tony has done a great deal, especially for vets, in regards to mental health. He is a true subject matter expert, and it's gonna be a heavy one. It's gonna be serious, but I think it's gonna be a worthwhile one. So I hope you can join us next week, Tuesday, for Last Call.
And Curtis W is asking me how far I'm away from monetization. I think last time I checked, like 900 or so, maybe 800 watch hours.
And she probably needs about 16 to 1700 more subscribers too. So
no, I have 1.35 subscribers. I have over my 1,000.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's watch hours you need. It's 3,000 watch hours.
My watch hours.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got like 800 or 900 more I need, but that's not counting how many watch hours that YouTube hasn't told me I have yet from like the last week, 2 weeks or so. So I know that number is actually a lot less, but yeah, who knows? If you want to help out, open up a separate tab, plus play all on my vids. Maybe just drop a hi or something in the comments.
They know. They got.
Yeah, I know.
They did it for me. They'll do it for you too. Absolutely.
But I appreciate you asking about that, Curtis. Yeah, it's like that's the next thing on our bucket list is to get me monetized, and then once I'm monetized, I'll actually be able to buy the fancy version of StreamYard, so I can have people actually streaming to other places like Twitter and Rumble and wherever they want to share to. Until I get to that point, it's not really feasible for me and Troy, just because he's already in that special StreamYard-y place.
Yeah.
And we need to justify the cost for that. Yeah, because it's like, what was it, something like $200 for the year or something like that?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, until I'm either really close to monetization or monetized, I'm going to hold off doing that for myself. But then once I am, anyone that is a guest host or guest on my channel can stream it out themselves, share it out themselves to their own YouTube channels, or like I said, Twitter X. Oh wait, what somebody call it? Twix. Twix,
yeah.
Rumble, wherever it is that they want it to stream to. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know y'all already subbed to me and Troy, so I'm not gonna go through that spiel. But you guys are just so amazing. A couple of you did donate tonight to that fundraiser. I appreciate that. It's a really important project for Josh and Cameron, and I know if they can actually get the funds for it, the project is going to turn out fantastic. Just because of their passion. Just like with Tom Cockle, he has that passion.
Yep.
So it's going to be great. With that said, we can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well, good, and fun, but it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat, and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be, and it feels like we're... excuse me. It doesn't feel like we're separated by... I can't talk today. By miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company, and having a wonderful time. And you guys, you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. You could be anywhere right now, and you're here, and that's so encouraging to see. I love seeing you guys in our streams every night, and it's just the encouraging thing that I need at the end of the day when I come on here and I see you guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our family. And until the next time, which, let's see, today's Thursday, so tomorrow night on Troy's stream, good night